Hey, good morning, everybody. It's early morning to LALATE, the Christmas edition. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, the chestnuts are roasting, the sugar plum fairies are dancing in there, or whatever they dance in the casino. I'm so glad you're here. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Hope you're good and safe. Hope you're enjoying the drama of Nancy and her vote. Yeah, Nancy will be calling a vote on your second stimulus check and second stimulus package on Christmas Eve. I wonder who will be the Grinch tonight. Well, it'll be Kevin McCarthy, because apparently he's going to veto, well, not veto, he's going to vote against her bill to override someone else's bill that will ultimately land in the Senate that will not take up the bill. That will be a bill to replace the bill. Oh my God, it's like Groundhog Day all over again with Bill Murray, just in a different bill. Boy, what a confusing day, but the great news is that everyone's talking about $2,000 stimulus check, $2,000 stimulus check. I'm going to explain how you're going to get it and how this is all going to get raveled up in a nice bow, just not today for Christmas. It's a good morning. I'm here, you're here, and let's get rock and rolling. This is Early Mornings LALATE. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Early Mornings LALATE, the early morning edition, the 6 a.m. edition. Thank you for joining LALATE, which is now a 24-hour news network that broadcasts news and programming around the clock. Earlier this morning at 1 a.m. is the EIDL show that has a throwback of your favorite EIDL show. And then the PUA show about unemployment, how to apply for PUA, how to apply for UI. That was the 2 a.m. show. And this show, always at 6 a.m. now on the East Coast, which is 3 a.m. on the West Coast, is followed 30 minutes from now with the 3:30 show, 3:30 a.m. show. So I'm so glad you joined me. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe, because I don't want you to miss a item of programming anywhere. No one's keeping you more informed by the minute and by the moment about every nuance and every twist and turn. And we're fighting to get the stimulus check. We're not just sitting back and putting our feet up and roasting chestnuts over an open fire. We're actually roasting someone else's. Yeah, well, anyway, thank you for joining me. If you're noticing over there, it's an instant premiere. We can wish Merry Christmas to everyone, and happy pardon to you as well. Everyone gets a pardon for Christmas, apparently. That's just very, apparently the spirit of the season. The instant premiere is featured every morning here on Early Mornings LALATE on both this show and the show coming up right after this. It's an instant premiere and features that enhanced viewing experience. And with that, there's so much happening this morning. I'm going to be going over where we are on your $2,000 stimulus check, what will happen today, what will happen tomorrow, and all the twists and turns. And with that, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news is that there is no deal in the second stimulus package again. If it feels like a merry-go-round, it is. We had a deal. It passed the Senate, it passed the House, went to the President, then he said no deal. So now the Senate and House had a choice. They still actually do have the choice today as well. But the point is that they may have thrown the choice out the window. What was the choice? To override the pocket veto. They chose not to do it. They chose to do what the president has asked them to do. In part, though, he asked 4 things to be done, and he's only getting 1 of the 4. Do you think he's going to be happy? No. So he asked, that federal government, that foreign money be taken out of the bill, the $8 trillion or $8 billion taken out of the bill. They're not taking that out of the bill. They're only doing a $2,000 stimulus check, and the other things he talked about, like the Kennedy Center building and the Smithsonian building, take that out of there. They're not taking that out of there either. So why? Really, why? I mean, before I even get to procedurally what's going to happen today, why not do exactly what he's asking you for what he wants? Because if you want it to pass, you have to do what he wants. Otherwise, do an overriding of a veto. What is an overriding veto? Well, if the president vetoes it or goes to a pocket veto, which is maybe not going to get covered in this video because it's too complex, then you would call a vote to override override his veto. And you need to be veto proof. You already are veto proof. The number of people who voted in favor of this bill, the Senate, the Republicans, and the House Democrats a couple of days ago, they voted enough in favor of the bill, the $600 stimulus check bill, to override the veto. Okay, so are they just setting this up to be vetoed again? It sort of smells like it. Where we are today is that a $2,000 stimulus check bill will be introduced by the House. The House will vote on it today, Nancy Pelosi represents. So you're going to see that voted on today. She had wanted a unanimous vote, and that unanimous vote would cause the Senate, by some peculiar procedural rule of Congress. This is just also petty, detailed. No one wants to hear this sort of boring details. But she would have hoped for a unanimous vote so that that the Senate would be required to vote on your second stimulus check. But she's not going to get it. Okay, so why not is she going to get it? Because Kevin McCarthy, the Republican minority leader in the House, says, I'm going to vote against it. Okay, why? Why? Just because you don't like her? I don't know why. So this is sort of teeing up the whole series of why is this person doing this? Why is this person doing this? So Kevin McCarthy is teeing up because he wants to vote against it, because he doesn't like a $2,000 stimulus check, because he doesn't like Nancy, because he does like a $600 stimulus check, because he doesn't like. Well, his position may be different than all the GOPs in the Senate, because they are going to have a position as well. When Nancy does what she does today, ultimately her bill will pass the House. She has enough votes to vote in favor of the bill. That's pretty easy. So then the amended bill with a $2,000 stimulus check for adults, married couple, $4,000 stimulus check, children, $600 stimulus check, and everything else the same, nothing has changed, would be sent back to the Senate. And then what? No one in the Senate has talked to Nancy or Chuck. No, well, Chuck is of course in the Senate, but no one is talking to Nancy and the people drafting this House change. There has been no kumbaya. This is not bicameral. It is no longer bipartisan. Now it's back to becoming partisan merry-go-round. So Nancy's going to do something, shove it down the throats of people in the Senate and say, here, take it. And then she's going to say, you kill people. The usual thing. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Here's something, you kill people. Oh, goodness. So what will the Senate then do? Hard to say. Mitch McConnell has been really silent through this entire narrative. And it is not well, it would not be appropriate for me to predict what the Senate's going to do, for what the president's going to do after the Senate, or anything else and above that. People like to sort of, just predict everything. Let me read my crystal ball. I predict that. No, it's too hard to predict because there's too many variables here. There is too many variables at play. The $2,000 stimulus check is mainstream. It is bread and butter. It is commonality at this point. That is the really, really great news to start Christmas. For months, I have been trying to and finding with viewers over $2,000 stimulus checks. Not for viewers who don't want it, but for people saying in comments, you'll never see a $2,000 stimulus check. No one in Congress wants you to have a $2,000 stimulus check. In fact, it was just a few days ago when Josh Hawley met with the president in the White House, and the president said he wants about $1,200 to $2,000 stimulus check. I put in the title a couple of videos, said Trump wants $1,200 to $2,000. The comments of the negativity from the trolls were never going to see a $2,000 stimulus check ever talked about in this country. Never going to be even a bill as a $2,000 stimulus check. And that was just a few days ago. That was not the summer. In August, when we were talking about Senator Harris, now VP-elect Harris's $2,000 a month for 6-month bill, there was a lot of backlash at that time saying, you know what, you're never going to see anyone ever put the number $2,000 stimulus check bill. Ironically, not yet last night, but the night before, they couldn't put in the $2,000 fast enough. As soon as Trump released that video, then House members just rushing to their computers and firing off these tweets. Here's $2,000. Here's $2,000. I'm ready to play. And then all day yesterday, what were they doing? They were appearing on broadcast news saying, I've always wanted to give you $2,000. I have always loved $2,000. It has just always made me feel so good, $2,000. Who are you kidding me here? Now, there are some people who supported $2,000, but now everyone is on the gang, everyone's a $2,000 groupie. Suddenly, everyone's a $2,000 groupie in Congress? You're just, goodness. You're just so messy. You're so messy. I mean, it was just a few days ago that Chuck and Nancy were backing the prom creators that had zero stimulus check. And yesterday, Nancy's like, I always wanted to give you $2,000. Yeah, I always did. Yes, sure you did, Nancy. So the good news is that $2,000 is mainstream. $2,000 is likely to be the number du jour for a while. Just sort of like $600 shocked our senses. When we first heard the 600, we're like, is there a zero missing? Wait, is that a typo? 600 who? Wait, $600 to, valet park the car while I'm going to get my $2,000 stimulus check. What is 600? So when we first said 600, it was a cultural shock. It was just it was a slap in the face. When we saw the 2,000 suddenly become mainstream in the last 2 days, it was like, okay, you didn't like the mixtape of 2000, and now you want to do like a pop song of 2000? It's impressive. Now, how about all the other things? And how soon would you get the $2,000 stimulus check? How soon would you get the FPUC? How soon would you get the UI and PUA? What's going to happen with my UI and PUA? And what's going to happen with everything else? Okay, first of all, let me explain to you what you're not getting in this package. That's third stimulus checks and third stimulus package. The things that are not in this stimulus package, which we at this point have sort of forgotten about because we're so obsessed with what Congress is doing with these votes, is Biden's stimulus. And you will likely see that bill in the next few days. That's the new hit show on this channel, third stimulus check and third stimulus package, which is $2,400 for SSI, multiple stimulus checks, hazard pay, the remainder of EIDL, grant rent, all those things are in January for Biden stimulus. But what about this? When would you see the $1,200 stimulus check? If they get this together and the president signs it into law next week, you add 10 days. Well, next week is like what? The 27th, 28th of December? Add 10 days, about the 8th of January. That's not much worse than where it was about a few days ago. I had always told you it was the first week of January you're going to get the check. Even yesterday, congressional leaders appeared on news and was like, I told constituents in my hometown, you're getting a check next week. Well, I'm glad you told them because they must really not think you're a liar because that was never true. That was just never true. Oh my goodness. Now, what about your UI and PUA? If you have been unemployed since March or April or February, your UI or PUA has expired or is going to expire this weekend, the 27th. Now, what I want to talk to you is about receiving money, not when you are eligible and things like that. The thing I want you to understand is the last week you're certifying for unemployment benefits is the week ending December 27th. You will get paid that check on time like you normally get paid. But the next week, the week after December 27th, which I think is about the week ending January 3rd approximately, that check, the week of unemployment benefits ending in the week January 3rd, that check will start the new delayed period that you're all going to have. Not going to get that check on time and not going to get any check after that on time for a little bit of time, for a little while. Why? It has nothing to do with what's going on now with Trump. It's because Congress let this slide too long. I have always told you, there's been countless news reports about it, it's very commonplace, that it takes a few weeks for the federal government to get the money from them to the states for unemployment benefits. Then it takes a while for the federal government, for the states to then process it in their system, reactivate accounts, reactivate PUA, write the programming for it. It's very complicated. And it's not something that's done in 10 seconds. And with that, I've been warning for a while that there's about a 2-week to 2-month delay for this subject matter. And that's before we had the current situation. So there are Democrats that were appearing all over news yesterday said, because of Trump, your first week of unemployment benefits and UI are going to lapse. No, the problem we have here is that your UI and PUA for the first week ending of January was never going to return, never going to land into your bank account on time because Congress waited to the 11th hour to get this done. They were supposed to take care of this about a month ago. Instead, they waited out to the last second. It's sort of like FPUC, which expired in July. They haven't taken care of that in months. And so I always have people in the last few days say, is my FPUC going to start next week? Oh no, it's not starting next week. It's not starting the month of December. And it's probably not going to land in your bank account anytime in the month of January. It's going to be backed up. It's going to be backlogged. And that's not a good thing. So you need to really stay with me. Purple and Purple Power Live is a big show on this channel for a reason, because I'm getting people money right now, not 5 days from now, not 5 weeks from now. And on the video after this, I'm going to separate what money is going to be coming to you over the holiday season. What would come to you now, what will come to you in late December, and what will come to you in January, and what you have to wait for in February. A lot of details, and I'm so glad you joined me. Join me next on the continuation of Early Mornings LA. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay LA for more.